Hi there, I'm Andrea and I'm going to show you how to remove GelMoment nail polish. There are two different methods that you can use. There is the gentle removers, which come in these packets and they contain some acetone. There's also the Flake Off Remover, which comes in a bottle and is painted on just like polish. And those are the two different methods that we'll use. So I'm going to remove 2 fingers of polish on this hand. So the first thing that you need to do in order to remove the polish is to get your nail file ready. And the GelMoment nail files, they have the gritty side and then they have the buffer side. So for removal, typically the recommendation is to use the buffer side just to break up some of that polish. But what I have found is that using the grittier side, either the pink or the white side, depending what your file looks like, if you use that just to break up the polish and carefully making sure not to get down onto your nail bed, just breaking up the top layer of polish, that will ensure that whichever type of polish remover that you're using, it will be able to soak down to the bottom of that polish and make sure that it lifts up nice and easy. Making sure to get the corners, the edges, and all of the sides as well. Okay, I'll use my buffer side as well. Okay, so you can see that I've scuffed up that finger. Okay, and I'm also going to do this dusky blue finger as well. Scuff it up. Make sure that my remover can get right down to the nail bed. Okay, that should do it. Sometimes what I find is that if I don't make sure that the edges are scratched up a bit, I have to go over a second time with the nail polish remover, which is not really that big of a deal, but it is nice if we can get it the first time. Okay, so they're all scuffed up. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Gentle Care remover. So they come in this packet. You can see that they do contain acetone, but they contain less acetone than they had originally. There you can see. So in order to get into the packet, you tear off the top along the dotted line. And what you'll see when you look inside is that there is a pad inside that is wet with remover. You don't want to remove that. You're going to leave it in there and actually put your finger in there, making sure that the polish is touching the wet pad. Before you do that though, you will remove this strip along the outside. It's a sticky strip and that will allow you to secure the packet around your finger to keep it nice and tight. Okay, so I'm going to stick my finger in there, making sure that the polished nail is touching the wet pad inside, okay, and make it nice and secure. GelMoment also offers clips that you can purchase. They do come in some of the kits that wrap around your nails as well to keep this nice and secure. So you make sure that it's touching all parts of your nail. But I find doing it this way works as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got the one done. The suggestion is that you do leave it for 3 to 5 minutes to really let it work its magic and really get under and lift that polish off. Okay, so that was it. So you could do that with each of your nails. Leave it for 3 to 5 minutes or even longer if you have lots of coats of polish on. Go watch a TV show or read a book, and then it will do its magic while you're waiting. The next finger, I'm going to try the Flake Off. So this is a newer product than the Gentle Care remover. When you open it up, you'll see it's a bit gloppy, looks a bit like a gel. And all you do is you take it and you paint it on your polish. And I'm usually pretty generous to make sure that I have a thick layer on to make sure that it really does its magic. Making sure to get all the edges, and then I try to avoid my skin as best as I can. Okay, so we leave that on for 3 to 5 minutes so that it can start to work. After this, the only other tools that you're going to need are the cuticle pusher. So the cuticle pusher is what will help you remove any excess polish that's on your nail once it starts to lift off as the polish removers start to work. Okay, now if I show you the blue finger up close, you can start to see that the polish is lifting already. So that's with the Flake Off, and that was less than a minute, I think, that I left that on. So you can see that it's already starting to work. But the longer that I leave that on, the more successful I'll be with the one application of Flake Off. If I were to remove it now, I would get quite a bit off. I may have to do a second application, so I'm just going to leave it a little bit longer. The other, I'm going to trust that it's doing its job in there, making sure that the pad is touching all parts of that fingernail. Okay. You can get a good look at that. See how it's just lifting it right off? Yeah, and I didn't have to soak my fingers in pure acetone, which is pretty exciting. That's one of the things that I love so much about this product, is that it's easy to use, but it's also equally as easy to remove, I think. Like, yeah, that was hardly on at all. I had 2 coats of polish on, and look, it's just lifted right off. And then I can use my cuticle pusher, and I can just scrape off the excess very gently, making sure not to damage my nail bed, but that's really not an issue because it's lifted off so nicely. Okay, and the rest I just clean off my hand, wipe it off, and done. That was it. That's how simple it was. There's a bit over here at the corners which I can just work at as well. So since I can't see it, I'm not sure how far along we are. I guess I could take it out and take a look. Oh, okay. So there, I also had 2 coats of polish. You can see it's just lifting right off. It literally just peeled right before our eyes. So I think it's fair to say I can just remove that. So that wasn't even the full time I usually would leave that on. It does tend to stick a little bit more at the ends of my nails because they're a bit drier there, which is normal, but you can see it has just lifted completely off and left my nails ready to go. I can clean them up, buff them up, and these nails are ready to go for the next application of GelMoment nail polish. So that's a comparison of the two. Really, they're both great, whichever way you go. I personally like both of them. There are different times that I use a different type of remover, and as you can see, the results are pretty great. So those are the 2 different methods for removing GelMoment nail polish.